No end to bad air inside. Punjab sees 360 farms fire. Delhi's air quality continued to remain in poor category on Tuesday with the air quality index of 220. However, due to rise in farm fires, burning of effigies and unfavorable meteorological conditions, the AQI is likely to worsen to very poor on Tuesday. Punjab recorded this season's highest single day subtle burning counts of at 360 on Tuesday. In this season, the per day farm fires in Punjab have been below 200 so far. Haryana and Uttar Pradesh reported 70 and 38 paddy residue burning events respectively on Tuesday, according to the satellite data compiled by Indian Agriculture Research Institute. The Decision Support System, which is the forecasting model under the Union Ministry of Earth Sciences, did not share the source contribution data for the day on Tuesday. However, on Monday, it was estimated the share of biomass burning in Delhi's PM 2.5 to be around 32% for Tuesday. Sunil Daya, analyst, Center for Research and Energy and Clean Air, said as pollution levels are currently high and farm fires are rising in northwest India, burning of effigies for 2 to 3 hours will add to the existing pollution load. The impact would be visible on the stations located close to sites where effigies were burned. However, since Tuesday was a public holiday, the vehicular pollution will be reduced. Dahiya added the situation will not be bad as Diwali when people burn firecrackers during the night and the pollutants get trapped due to unfavorable meteorological conditions. Kuldeep Srivastav, scientist and head Regional Weather Forecasting Center India Meteorological Department, said with wind speeds dropped to 2 to 3 km per hour during the night time from 2 am to 7:30 am during winter season if no weather system has impacted the region. During this period, the wind speed drops further to nil for a couple of hours. Calm wind conditions cause accumulation of pollutants while strong winds aid in smooth dispersion of pollutants, said Srivastav. On Tuesday, Pusa was the lone station to be placed in very poor category with an AQI of 315, shows Central Pollution Control Board's data. According to the air quality early warning system for Delhi, the air quality is likely to deteriorate to very poor category on Wednesday. However, it is predicted to remain in poor category on Thursday. On Friday, the outlook for subsequent 6 days from Friday is that the air quality is likely to remain in very poor to poor category. Despite consumer court rulings, carry bags still carrying price tag. Last month, a Delhi consumer court directed Reliance Trends to pay Rs 3,000 for charging a customer Rs 7 for a carry bag. The firm argued the complaint's case lacked valid cause of action and seemed more like an effort to benefit financially. Purchasing the carry bag was optional and customers were not compelled to buy one, the company said, adding the consumer has willingly purchased it and was billed accordingly. In a similar case, a consumer court in Bengaluru on October 4 fined furniture brand IKEA Rs 3,000 for charging Rs 20 for a carry bag. Despite consumer courts across India passing orders against it, the practice of charging for carry bags is widespread. Several people Times of India spoke to complained it's an additional expense when they go out to buy anything. Rihanna, the 21-year-old MNC executive, said, I have been charged Rs 10 on a gift bag at the DIV store in Kamla Nagar. They don't provide any other bags except gift bags. Mahfouz Alam, a resident of East Delhi, said, charging for a carry bag is wrong practice and must stop. I have been carrying my own bag for years now. According to lawyers, the practice is unfair and illegal, but there is no credible deterrence as disposal of such cases can take up to 4 years. As per rules, no brand, retailer or shopkeeper can charge consumers for plastic cloth carry bags that have their own logo. Neither should brands treat consumers as they advertisement against, nor should they use ignorance of law as an excuse, said Sanjay Mishra, a practicing advocate in Delhi. Rule 15 of the Plastic Waste Management, which which pertain to explicit pricing of plastic bags has been omitted. Hence, vendors and retailers are now not supposed to put a price tax on bag. If any brand does, the consumer has the right to file a complaint in a consumer forum under Section 12 of the Consumer Protection Act 1986. Read the section for unfair trade practices, said Sharma. Moreover, if any brand wants to charge consumers for carry bags under the law, it is at liberty to do so for unbranded ones, but with other prior intimation and consent, and by displaying the information of conspicuous places in the premises. Manisha Bhandari, an advocate practicing in Delhi High Court and Supreme Court, told Times of India, "I have had to fight every time I go shopping as they charge me for carry bags. Now I carry my own. This should be included in the school curriculum for the next generation is more aware." Plan to free major South Delhi stretches stuck in hurdles. In 2015, the Public Works Department came up with the idea to ease the commute between Sarai Kale Khan and Malviya Nagar in South Delhi with a combination of infrastructure interventions that would include 2 new flyovers and the construction of a loop. While the second flyover at Sarai Kale Khan ISBT has been opened to the public, the long-term project remains incomplete. Work on the elevated road at the Savitri Cinema, which continues to see congestion regularly, is yet to start. Here, similar of ISBT, PWD plans to construct a second flyover to provide relief to commuters moving towards Greater Kailash and Okhla. The existing flyover was constructed during the 2010 Commonwealth Games. The need for a second flyover was identified by authorities in 2016, after which a plan was prepared and approved by Unified Traffic and Transportation Infrastructure Center. However, there has been no further movement since then. Currently, vehicles moving towards Nehru Place merge with the local traffic near Savitri Cinema. Nehru Place bound traffic after during the Chirag Delhi flyover is split 3-way towards Nehru Place U-turn and the right turn. India keeps close watch as China hosts Bhutan EAM. Chinese Foreign Minister Wang Yi hosted his Bhutan counterpart Tandi Dorji this week as the two countries look to resolve their boundary dispute soon, and also according to Beijing as they consider establishing diplomatic relations. According to Beijing, Dorji visited China for boundary talks. A Chinese readout of the meeting said Bhutan firmly abides by the One China principle and stands ready to work with Beijing for an early settlement of the boundary issue and advance the political process of establishing diplomatic relations. Bhutan has on several occasions this year said it is very close to resolving its border dispute with China and that it doesn't have any major problem with Beijing on the issue. The Indian government has been following the negotiations to see if it will have any bearing on the security situation, especially in the context of the sensitive Doklam dispute between China and Bhutan and the determination of the Bhutan-Chinese-India tri-junction in which India is also a stakeholder. India has repeatedly reminded China that as per a 2012 understanding, the tri-junction boundary points between India, China and third countries has to be finalized in consultation with the country concerned. Wang told Dorji, who was on a rare visit to China, that the conclusion of boundary negotiations and establishment of diplomatic ties fully serve the long term of the fundamental interests of Bhutan. China is ready to work with Bhutan in the same direction, seize the historic opportunity, complete this important process as soon as possible and fix and develop China-Bhutan friendly relations in legal form, he said. Beijing quoted Dorji as saying the two countries had enjoyed a traditional friendship and that he thanked China for its strong support and assistance to Bhutan. Bhutan highly appreciates and supports the three major global initiatives proposed by President Xi Jinping which have delivered benefits to all parties, especially its neighbors, including Bhutan, said the Chinese Foreign Ministry. Wang apparently told Dorji that China respects the sovereignty, independence, and territorial integrity of all countries and the legitimate aspirations and concern of small and medium-sized countries. China will continue to stand firmly with the side of developing countries, shoulder its due international responsibilities, act on true multilateralism, support greater democracy in international relations, and oppose all hegemonic and bullying practices, he said. India and Bhutan are the only countries with which China is yet to resolve land boundary disputes. China in recent years has stepped up efforts to establish formal diplomatic ties with Bhutan. On the Shahra, PM says send divisive forces up in flames. Divisive. Prime Minister Narendra Modi on Tuesday exhorted people to oppose forces seeking to divide the country by inciting feelings of casteism and regionalism, while also asking them to commit themselves to work for water conservation, promotion of digital economy, and other tasks crucial for development. We have to keep in mind that today the burning of Ravan should not be just the burning of the effigy. This should be the burning of every deformity due to which mutual harmony of society deteriorates. Let this be the burning of those forces which try to divide Mother India in the name of casteism and regionalism, Modi said at a Ramlila function. This should be the burning of those ideas which propagate the fulfillment of selfishness, not the development of India, the PM said in a speech where he celebrated the construction of Ram Mandir in Ayodhya and referred to India's recent feats such as the success of Chandrayaan mission, inauguration of Parliament's new building, and women's quota in legislature. The reference to casteism and regionalism aimed at the opposition's pitch for caste-based census as well as the attack of Sanatan Dharma by the DMK leadership, which reveals in Dravidian exceptionalism, came as a clear indication of BJP's decision to continue attacking the Jitni Abadi Utna Hak plank. The PM on earlier dubbed the campaign to revive Mandalism as a ploy to divide the country. Modi made a detailed reference on the construction of Ram Temple in Ayodhya and said the temple being built in the birthplace of Lord Ram is a symbol of victory for the patience of Indians after centuries of waiting. He said next Ram Navami prayers at the temple will spread happiness in the entire world. Bhagwan Shri Ram has bas aane hi wale hain, he added. Modi asked everyone to take 10 resolutions such as saving water, promoting digital transactions, cleanliness, vocal for local, making quality products, seeing the country before thinking of foreign visits, promotion of natural farming, adopting millets, fitness, and finally we will raise the social status at least one poor family by becoming a member of the household. Referring to the Shastra Pujan tradition on this day, the PM said in India weapons were not used for annexation but for defense. We know the Maryada of Ram as well as how to defend our borders, he added. Government to cut Basmati export price. The government is set to reduce the minimum export price for Basmati rice to $950 per ton from the current benchmark price $1,200. The center is likely to issue a communication to the departments concerned with this week, sources said. The price exporters had opposed the current MEP, which was notified on August 25 and was continued on October 14 till further orders. The exporters had sought its revision, citing that the MEP set by the government was around this ton more than the average price of export. They said, flagged that the current rate they can't do business. Last week, the government had issued a statement saying that it was actively considering the demands of exporters after they had announced to stop buying basmati paddy from mandis. This was the only causing a major concern among farmers in Punjab and Haryana. The reduction in MEP will get more takers for India Basmati price and also help increase the income of farmers. The production of Basmati rice in India was 60 lakh tons and total national production of non-Basmati rice was this tons for 2023. After banning the export of non-Basmati rice, the centre had imposed MEP of rupees this ton per ton for Basmati export on 25 August to ensure that the traders can't export non-Basmati rice in the name of Basmati rice. Okay. Indians illegally entering US via Canada at record high. Diplomatic ties between India and Canada may not turn frosty, but those aiming for the US backdoor route to US through the North American country are anything but freezing in its tracks. Data from US Customs and Border Protection shows that this number of Indians arrested for entering the country illegally through various routes in September, coinciding with the row over Canadian PM Justin Trudeau accusing Indian agencies for having hand in terrorist Hardeep Singh Nijjar's killing. Okay. This is the highest number of such arrests in the month of October and September this year. Many illegal immigrants, primarily from Gujarat, have either settled in Canada or are waiting an opportunity to enter the US. In August, this number of illegal immigrants were caught trying to cross over the US. This number rose to this September, a source said. Those arrested included 4 accompanied children. 4 children were accompanied by a family member each and 530 with their parents and siblings. The largest category comprised single adults. Illegal immigrations from India are known typically cross the US through the Mexican border rather than the Canadian one. In September, the number of illegal immigration arrested on the US-Mexico border was nearly identical to those reported by the US Border Protection. The influx of illegal immigrants continues unabated, although several families have tragically perished during their journeys into the unknown. To sensitize kids, Goa schools to offer Indian Sign Language. In a move aimed at sensitizing school children about inclusivity, the Goa Board of Secondary and Higher Education has decided to introduce Indian Sign Language as a 7th optional subject in high schools in the state. Already over 30 regular schools have committed to adopting the subject from the academic year 24-25. 50 secondary school teachers have already attended an orientation program organized on ISL earlier this week. The syllabus of ISL will be ready by January this, and it will be introduced from this as a 7th optional subject in class 9th. In subsequent years, the subject will be introduced in class 10th. We have already received a very good response from schools. Incorporating sign language into the school curriculum will help instill empathy and understanding among students and promote exclusivity, said board chairperson Bhagirath Sette. Earlier this week, the ISL orientation for teachers of secondary schools was conducted by the Goa Association for Deaf. To begin with, the teachers were provided exposure to same basic information on ISL and deaf culture in an effort to bridge the gap between the deaf and hearing communities. The National Education Policy 2022 and the Prime Minister seek that the ISL can be propagated. Accordingly, we want ISL interpretation to be popularized. Our aim is that at least one teacher from each school should know ISL, so that from here ISL can be propagated in other schools within say super school complexes and group schools, said Sette. "700 killed in overnight strikes," Gaza officials. More than 700 Palestinians were killed overnight by Israeli airstrike, Gaza's Hamas-run health ministry said Tuesday. The highest 24-hour death toll is Israel's two-week-old total siege as pressure grew for the aid to be allotted into the enclave unimpeded. The Israeli military said it had hit over 400 Hamas militant targets and killed dozens of the fighters overnight, but that it would be time to destroy Gaza's ruling Islamist group.